Good to see you again. Last time, we explored the idea that relationships are never neutral. The moment two people interact, balance begins to form. Someone adjusts more, someone sets pace. Today, we look at something that feels almost unfair. Most people believe that if you try harder, you should matter more. If you give more, you should be valued more. But here's the question for this lesson. If effort proves value, why does trying harder so often make someone feel less valued? Let's take this apart carefully. People rarely increase effort when everything feels secure. Effort rises when something shifts, when feedback feels colder at work, when replies slow down, when someone senses distance, when connection feels uncertain. In those moments, the natural reaction is simple. Give more. More time, more explanation, more availability, more money, more emotional support. Effort increases when someone feels they might lose something important, and this is where the balance begins to change. When one person consistently gives more or adapts more, something subtle happens. Their behavior says, without words, "This matters more to me." They reply faster. They explain more. They try to fix things sooner. They become more available. Over time, the other person does not have to work as hard to keep the relationship going. The effort becomes uneven. And when effort becomes uneven, the balance between two people quietly reorganizes. This does not mean the person giving more is weak. It means they feel more urgency. And urgency is visible. The more someone feels they cannot afford to lose the connection, the more their behavior reveals it. People respond to behavior more than intentions. Even if someone says they are confident, if their actions show anxiety or overcompensation, others feel it. And when urgency is visible, perception shifts. There is also a quieter pattern. Not reactive effort, but consistent over-effort. The employee who always says yes, the friend who always initiates, the family member who always fixes problems, the partner who consistently carries more financial weight. At first, this effort stands out. Over time, repetition changes perception. What was once appreciated becomes expected, and what becomes expected stops feeling valuable. It becomes normal. Here is a simple contrast. Two employees receive the same criticism. One makes steady improvements and continues at a normal pace. The other begins staying late every night and volunteering for everything. Both care, but over time, the first appears stable. The second becomes the one everyone depends on and quietly pressures. Same intention, different outcome. Effort alone does not define value. This is the part many people never question. They say, "I'm just responsible." They say, "I care more." They say, "I'm doing what needs to be done." But they rarely stop and ask, is my extra effort increasing how I'm seen? Or is it making me easier to take for granted? Effort itself is not wrong. The shift happens when effort becomes predictable, unequal, or driven by fear of losing the connection. And once that pattern repeats, the relationship adjusts around it. So let's return to the question. If effort proves value, why does trying harder so often make someone feel less valued? Effort feels noble. It feels like strength. But when effort becomes reactive or consistently uneven, it can quietly change how others respond to you. Over the next few days, observe this dynamic around you, at work, in families, in friendships, in stories you watch. Notice who gives more and who relaxes. Notice who adjusts first and who waits. Have you seen situations where trying harder reduced someone's value? Or do you see it differently? Share what you noticed in the comments. No personal details, just the pattern you observed. In the next lesson, we will explore something that confuses almost everyone. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next lesson.